Guys, welcome to the channel, and with so much talk about Star Citizen and the new update 323 patch, we may end up forgetting that there are other games out there, and some of them are quite awesome. Yes, I am talking about STARFIELD, which is getting a pretty nice May update, which we'll see here. But let me just say this, if you haven't played STARFIELD and there's any chance you enjoy space games, role-playing, don't be a poor dumb bastard that clicks on a couple YouTube videos and thinks there's nothing there for you. It is an awesome game. It did not get the credit it definitely deserves. And I mean, do whatever. But honestly, if you enjoy this kind of game, you really have to give it a shot because it is pretty fucking amazing. Is it perfect? Of course not. And do you have the Star Citizen ships? No. They are ships that have quite interesting settings and the ability of stealing ships and boarding them and customizing them. It is pretty damn cool on its own, and you don't have that in Star Citizen. So there's a little bit of pros and cons depending on what you have, but you do have ships. You definitely do have a proper game in STARFIELD, which is a lot better than most people apparently think. Let's check this out.
Hi, I'm Jess Finster, Community Director at Bethesda, and I'm here today at Bethesda Game Studios to talk to you all about the next update coming to STARFIELD. The team has been hard at work, so let's go chat with them to see what they've been working on. So with Update 4 on the horizon, what are some of the new features that players have to look forward to?
So we've seen a lot of feedback online that players really want a lot more utility and detail in our surface maps. So we took what's there, we blew it all up, and instead now we have a whole new aesthetic.
CIG, that's how you do a fucking map. Get over the 1990s hologram crap. That's the map you want to have. And it's actually a lot larger than... That's one of the beauties of a map like this. It simplifies things and you find everything you're looking for. Aquila City is huge. It's damn massive. You have all of these little alleys and streets, and it's super easy to get lost. So it's nice to have
surface maps where you can see the terrain, all the detail in the terrain, trees, rocks, all the structures in the loaded zone. It's a lot easier to navigate. We've also made it easier to get around the cities. You can see markers for all the shops, the enhanced boutiques, restaurants, you name it, it's all there. It's a lot easier to get around now.
With Update 4, we're also adding a bunch of gameplay options. So
look at how you have all the markers.
You name it.
It's all there. I don't have to drag around a fucking magic wand until it pops up. No, I see it all there. If I'm looking for shit, I want to be able to see it. I mean, it's pretty basic, but it's amazing. And yeah, Aquila City, that's nice. That's a nice place. I like it. But you have the clear markers. You don't have to guess. And yes, sometimes they superpose one with the other. Not a problem. That's what you're actually looking for.
It's all there. It's a lot easier to get around now.
Yeah.
With Update 4, we're also adding a bunch of gameplay options. So for that, players can really tune their experience how they prefer. We're adjusting things like capacity of vendor credits, the actual carry weight.
This was the biggest thing. This is the main criticism that I could make of STARFIELD was it's a victim of its own success, ironically enough, because you can interact with everything, you can steal everything, and most of the things you're not so sure if it has a use as a material or for something else, so you end up taking everything with you, and you get overloaded, your carry capacity, and this is one of the things that I think we were all asking for the most, more carry capacity. It is not a perfect solution because you just carry more crap. Eventually, you will still run out of space, but it is welcomed. And also the idea of vendors having more money, yeah, please.
Actual carry weight. Additionally, affects to difficulty. So some of those, depending on how you play, you can actually tune to be like space combat more difficult or gun combat less difficult. It's really up to you. And
FPS in STARFIELD is great.
Depending on how you balance them, it'll change how you get XP.
That's awesome. So you're really upping the ante for players that want an even bigger challenge.
Yeah, and with that, we actually are adding what's called the extreme difficulty. It sits above very hard, and it really, really makes you pay attention, especially for the higher level characters.
How about ship customization? I know players are really capitalizing on all of the ship content in the game, and we've seen some really crazy stuff out there that I'm sure you guys have seen as well. But are you adding anything more to the ship customization?
Yeah, so people love to customize their ships. Like some of the builds out there are just mind-blowing. Some beautiful, beautiful stuff. So now we're turning our attention to the inside of the ships. So we're adding a decorate mode where you can go and fully furnish and customize the interior layout of the ships, place the furniture, decorations, basically everything you can do in outpost mode. We can now do that in the ship, and it's saved, and you can do that to your entire fleet. In addition to
that is so awesome. I mean, just the way of customizing your ship. I mean, it's not, you don't have the physics of Star Citizen, but man, is it nice to build your own ships, customize them, even using the different modules that you already had. I enjoy that a lot. It really feels like your little home in space. It feels more like your home in space, ironically enough, than Star Citizen, even though you don't have the physics. Just because you can make it your own and you actually use the environment. And yeah, now you can do that even more because you basically customize it like your home, which is full customization. You can change everything about it.
In Decorate mode, we're also offering a whole new set of empty habs. So basically, instead of pre-cluttered habs in the ship builder, we'll have a new set where there's no furniture, there's no decoration, nothing. It's a total blank slate, so players can just kind of fill it up with their own stuff.
That's amazing. They'll really get to emulate whatever their personality showcase is outside on the inside.
Yeah, exactly.
New Game Plus. Is there anything being added to this update that helps the players after they've completed the campaign to return to the game?
Yeah, so if you're like me and you find the more you go through the Unity, the more you become the hunter, the one thing I want to do is be able to respec my traits. So we're adding that. So in case you're getting tired of Wanted or want to change your alien DNA, and you really want that new dream home experience, you get to choose that when going through the Unity. In addition, you'll be able to rechange your appearance.
Guys, if you're thinking about playing Star Citizen, which you should, Dream Home and Kid stuff, you have to activate those. Because if not, you miss out on some very cool stuff.
You'll be able to rechange your appearance.
Really living that next second life, huh?
Exactly.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you guys want to share about this update that players have to look forward to? I mean, you've already shared a lot as it is. But...
We're focusing now on our Xbox Series X players with this update. We're giving them some settings where they can help prioritize between performance or visual. If they choose to prioritize performance, the target FPS will move to 60. And for players that have TVs that support VRR, they'll be able to choose between VRR 40 or VRR 60.
In addition to the new features we just talked about, there are a couple of quality of life updates that we're introducing. One of them is you can now toggle dialogue cameras off. So instead of getting that sort of focus zoom in on whatever NPC you're talking to, it just stays in normal default camera mode. It's a little more immersive that way. Some players may prefer that.
Love it.
In addition to that, we're making the container and barter menus a bit more usable. We've added some tabs along the top, so it's easier to sort of see what container or what inventory you're looking at, whether it's yourselves or your ship. And it's just easier to navigate. Basically, inventory and item management, it's a small thing, but it actually, I think, makes it a lot nicer.
So, Tim, we just talked to Joe and Isfan a little bit about Update 4 and what's coming, but is there anything else that you want to talk about that's down the horizon?
So the team is working on our first land vehicle, so you can drive around on planets. Obviously, we're working on more quests and the
land vehicle will be appreciated.
Massive Shattered Space expansion.
That's all very
I already have Shattered Space. He said massive Shattered Space expansion. That's music to my ears. The idea of a company releasing expansions that are engaging, that have meets content, that is so great.
exciting. What about creations? Anything you can share there?
I think we mentioned it earlier this year, but we've sent out our beta toolkit to verified creators. So hopefully more information on that soon.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Tim.
Hey, no problem, Jess.
That's all.
And that's how it starts. That's how this gets awesome with all of the mods. I mean, my kids won't even touch Star Citizen because they would rather play Fallout and Skyrim, right? The mods is where it's at, and as predicted, this was just a start. Now with mods coming to Starfield, you're looking at people having so much options in terms of populating all of those planets, using all of the tools that already exist. It's gonna be damn epic. It's gonna be fantastic. Do you have the physics that you had because they're very much impaired now with master modes? No, and that's the big thing. You can point towards Star Citizen doing better than Starfield, no question about that. But it's the one thing. Everything else is just more of a real game in Starfield than in Star Citizen. I know that some people will not even look at it. That's okay. Now, if you're not a dumbass and you haven't played Starfield, give it a go because it is super interesting and very nice and a lot of fun. Guys, it's gonna be all for now. See you in the next video. Take care.